Alright, yeah, thank you for that.
You are most welcome. Dare I ask what the video is about?
Well, it wasn't the video, I was just, it was a video of the episode 3, season 5 of The Sopranos. I only had a couple minutes left. Um,
I
I just...
see. Maybe
So how
maybe.
you doing, man? Oh,
I'm doing good. I've been on holiday all week.
yes, I've heard. Have you been
Yes.
getting up to much?
No. That's the joys of holidays. You don't do anything. You kind of
Yes,
just
yes.
fuck around at home.
Hmm.
Wake up at the late 8 a.m. and just sit in front of your computer and do stuff.
Hmm.
Like I mean, I donated plasma on Monday. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out
Um,
it's really easy.
yeah, you just sit on a chair, hook you up to take it, that's it. Get a free biscuit.
Yeah, but bit of cordial as well.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, if you're real lucky,
Ballin'.
you get a cute nurse.
Were you real lucky?
For the first half,
Ah,
like it was basically a matter of because what they do is like you go in, you book your appointment, you go in, and then they give you the questionnaire to just get in writing that you don't have HIV.
yeah.
And then one of the nurses will go into a private room with you to basically just like go over those details and get the other ones like height and weight because that also factors into like how much you can give and shit.
Yeah.
And for that section I got a cute nurse, and then when I was actually heading out to the chair, there's this gay dude with a shitload of piercings and tattoos. Clearly the kind of person who's like, I can't donate blood, but I can help others do it.
Oh, right, yeah, I get it.
Um That's a really shit joke. But yeah, he took over from there, so then I had to say goodbye to the cuteness.
Um,
She will be missed.
you can't win them all, but
Yeah, it's just I didn't think she had to die.
I feel like an NPC should just despawn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Uh, fuck. Yeah, but we're clear. Actually, no. On the topic of I don't know. Well, last night I was playing fucking Tank Mechanic Simulator.
Oh,
It
tank mechanic.
yeah. What do you think I said?
I think they said tech. Just kind
Oh
of.
no. No, that Tech Mechanic Simulator is the Chinese like shitty game
Nah, yeah, the knockoff.
with the virus and shit. Like, look, we strung English words together. Play our game, please. Like, what the fuck does Genshin Impact even mean? Fuck does Honkai Impact even mean?
All good questions.
Well, obviously I haven't played in a while. Is there a point in Genshin Impact? Like near the end of whatever the fuck the update is, where they go, "We are truly Genshin Impact."
Yeah, I
And
was thinking. Damn it! I was thinking about how to make the joke of dropping the name and like maybe the real Genshin Impact was the friends we made along the way.
maybe
Um,
like the main boss's like super attack, like his fucking spirit ball and shit. That's a Genshin Impact, where he just like flies up into the sky and then like just smashes down, a literal impact. But it's called the Genshin Impact.
so I've
And
just tried to search it up, but the
what
answers.
did you Google? What does Genshin Impact even mean?
No, yeah, Genshin meaning in English, but the top result is what Genshin means in the fucking Genshin language. It's like, no, that's not what I'm asking.
Well, that's as good
But
of a
in
quick answer as any.
Chinese, it's Yuanchen. No, sorry, Yuanchen, which means original god. So
I guess that kind of makes sense in the lore. I think. I obviously haven't played it in a while, but I think it fits in where I think you're supposed to turn into God or something.
Hmm. Oh, actually, okay. I was just reading this other one, and if we look at it Japanese meaning, sorry, something else just came up. So Genshin was a Japanese scholar called Eshin Sozu. He's a Tendai, a Buddhist Tendai scholar, yada yada yada. But there's another guy called Hongaku, um, which is another type of Buddhism, and I know for a fact that Hongaku is pronounced guy in the Chinese reading. So like Hongai, it could be. So that might be less likely, but they maybe they're all just named after different Buddhist sects.
I see. I'm glad
Sorry,
I'm glad you're studying Japanese and Chinese history.
yeah, I've got to put this fucking studying to some practical use.
We'll make a
It's
map
about-
pad out of you next, but for like weeb shit. You can make 50
Uh,
videos on like the lore of Girls Frontline. And how the fact
What-
that you're only allowed like four dolls in an echelon is like a reference to some Shinto tradition of the five
Hmm.
samurai or some fucking shit. The ones who
Did you
the ones who climbed Mount Fuji to fight the lightning god.
did you know that Suomi means Finland in French? In French? In Finnish? Fuck. It's too late. I can't even make shit jokes. Oh.
I mean, for all I know, it could mean like it wouldn't be the first time that the English have just gone fuck what everyone else is calling it. We're gonna call it Finland.
Hmm. Yeah.
Actually, fuck it. Let's Google Translate. The moment I can actually type translate. There we go. And Finland. Nah, it's just Finland with an e at the end because it's French.
I'm looking up the etymology of Finland. Um, and it appears to be Swedish. The Swedish called certain areas of Finland the Finlotti. And in Gotland there was Finlandi, from the 13th century.
Oh, the Russians.
And there was a tribe called the Finns.
Yeah. I'm just clicking on random languages. They seem pretty intent on Finland.
But Suomi is the Finnish one, and it comes from, well,
Oh.
it says it's technically uncertain, but the ethnicity is the Sami,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, so apparently Lithuania is also an exception. They call it Suomija. Or Suomia.
Suomija.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Suomi
yeah,
and then
probably, yeah.
and then like JA at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I was saying, Tank Mechanic Simulator, it's boring as shit. Like,
Damn.
I don't it's I don't know how to it's just boring as shit. Like, you'd think, oh, at least there'd be something interesting about tanks. There really fucking isn't. Like, it's a really simple gameplay loop of you get a rusted fucking hull of a tank, and then you sit there with a hose just hosing down each individual part until its meter reads 100%.
Wait, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds shit.
Like,
So you're not even like going in the tank and changing parts and
oh,
shit?
you can get like, usually like there'll be parts missing, and then you just click on the tank, you like buy missing parts, and you can buy them to relative like degrees of not shit.
Mm,
And then you
I
just
see.
you just fix them up. Like, you sit there and hover over each individual part with a rust remover, then a sander blaster, then a paint gun. And if you're really fancy, you do the paint gun again.
Ooh.
And then you sell the tank and make money so that you can like do shit.
Is it like World War II tanks or is it like modern tanks?
Oh, it's all World War II tank. Like one of the key gameplay mechanics is you just go out to a shitty little field with like a metal detector to find tanks just fucking buried in some field.
I just sound so fucking retarded. Like, whom's the fuck buried this lava here?
Oh no, there's no lava. I mean, they've got a. I mean, there's more German tanks than anything, but they hit the core ones. You know, you got your Panzer III, your Panzer II, your Panzer III, your Panzer IV, your Tiger, and your Panther.
No Sherman? Oh,
Oh no, there is no. That's just the Germans. There is a Sherman. There's also an early and a late T-34. It's also
oh like a T-34-85.
yeah, and also the T-34-76. But I was happy just saying early and late. And then you know,
It's a classic trying to flex your knowledge, but not really understanding a lot. So, yeah, I've simply embarrassed myself there.
not really. I mean, you're not the worst for it. There's some guy I know who just he has a tendency to walk in on conversations and drop like entry level factoids about it to be like, yes, I know what you're talking about,
Mm,
but like the factoid has nothing to do with the specific part of the topic that we're talking
yeah.
about, and it kind of just makes him look dumber than if he had said fucking nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so yeah, the game's really boring, but the great thing I learned, like, how long did I spend playing it last night? I played it for 10 hours. Not really the best, like, this game is shit, but I kind of like zoned out for most of it, which was great because then I could watch the documentary of Chris Chan while
Oh, are
like
we just
derusting parts. This was the entire point of me talking about Tank Mechanic Simulator was a segue. We're talking
no,
about
no.
Chris Chan today.
Yes, yes. I
Oh,
imagined we were going to.
yeah.
Okay, so give
I,
give me give me a quick rundown.
well, you've been awake longer than I have, so I'm assuming you know more.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, but yeah, okay. I just don't know. This is like Pawn Stars or something, where I know the current information, but
You,
I have none of the backgrounds. I need an expert, right? I
wait,
need an expert.
wait. What do you mean by? Oh, that's what you mean by porn stars.
Yeah, PAWN.
I thought when you were saying it's like porn stars and like you know that porn stars are the thing, you don't know shit about it. You can just like make those rough, distant jokes like, "Oh, let me call an expert."
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, I'm in the loop now.
Okay, so my understanding is a woman by the name of Christina.
Fuck off! It's a man.
Man, shout out to Fox for respecting the pronouns. uh, real gentleman. Um. So yeah, Chris Chan.
Christian, Christine, Ricardo, Weston, Chandler.
Did a he confided in someone, and there's an audio. I'll be fully honest, I have not listened to the audio.
It wouldn't surprise me if there is audio. There always is.
Yep, there's apparently audio, but I've read the messages on the Kiwi Farms thing. I still don't fully understand Kiwi Farms.
What do you mean you don't understand it?
Well, I've never actually like I've seen it be referred to things like this, but I've never actually went on the site and sort of checked what it is. So I don't really know what niche of the internet it occupies. I know it's a forum. Like I know it's a forum, but that's pretty much it.
Oh, I mean that's about it, really.
Okay.
It's for apparently, and I learned this after watching all of this shit and doing some digging myself. Is that the name is supposed to be like a bastardization of the Quickie forums, which is where it originated like people just congregating to make fun of him for being a fuckwit. But
Oh, so it is like dedicated sort of against or about Christian.
it was, but then they like obviously found other quote unquote lol cows.
Right.
And when they'd make videos like trying to get angry at them, apparently they'd like say it wrong and call it the Kiwi Farms or something. And like, fuck it, that's what we're called now.
Okay, right. Thank you for the explanation. So, yeah, and apparently he touched up his mother, rubbed, rubbed the vagina and shit.
Mm.
And,
It's not hard. It probably sags underneath your fucking dress.
well, yeah, so, and everybody's going crazy about it. Again, I have no background information. I don't know who, really know, but from what people are saying, she's like got dementia and she's like 80. Of course, any form of incest is bad, but like, can't consent. And it's apparently legit, and he's been like, I don't know if it's forced to leave the house, but he's been like, there's an order that he can't be in the house and shit.
Well, I don't know about the dementia, but yeah, she's old as fuck. And I mean, but I'm on episode 53. So basically, like the past 20 minutes or so of me watching this shit has basically been him just ragging on Trump getting elected. And
anti-Trump.
yeah, like Trump just got into office and is like, fuck Trump, he's anti-LGBTQAI LMNOP. But in amongst that, there was a tweet from no, where was I going? Oh no, there was it was him replying to a Facebook post of a mother and a son like getting arrested for incest. And he's like, oh, it's not that bad, which is why I find it a hilarious like sort of omen. But it's interesting this time around because there's been omens to shit before in these documentaries, but they're kind of all things that like came to be before he started making these documentaries.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of for all the times I think that his gender dysphoria is a load of bullshit, and I know a lot of people also agree with that. There were a lot of like posts he'd make from like 2007 onwards about how like great it would be to be a woman or something. And when you're watching the documentary with even like the vaguest outline of things to come, you're like, oh, that's an omen.
Yeah.
Like, however, obviously, the post I'm talking about now related to the incest, as well as really early drawings of him fucking his mum, to sort of prove to trolls that he's straight. A weird way of doing it. But like obviously these were all mentioned in these documentaries before this has happened. So pretty interesting omen as far as I'm concerned.
So just foreshadowing.
Yeah, but unintended foreshadowing. I don't know, but yeah. And yeah, basically the sum of all this is probably the way it ends.
Well, yeah, because he's molested somebody.
Yeah, not just anybody, but his old fucking decrepit mother.
Yeah.
Which kind of gets to the point of this is kind of something that no one can see him weaseling his way out of. Like he's done every other confrontation with the law, and there's been a few.
Right.
I don't know which one, how much you've heard about, but he ran a dude over with his car.
Well, I mean, see, now I'm kind of inclined to say no spoilers because I must admit I'm feeling a very strong inclination now to
Put
actually
it,
just watch the fucking thing, or at least start watching it.
well, I don't really think there are. You can spoil this. Like
Mm,
it's like the appeal of these documentaries, as far as I'm concerned, isn't about like, oh my god, what's going to happen next. It's kind of just watch it. Like, you can watch two trains on a rail going towards each other and like no, they're gonna crash.
yeah.
It doesn't spoil the fact that the crash itself is just horrifying.
Mm.
Which is
No,
why I don't.
I'll trust your judgment
Yeah,
if you want to tell
but
me. Tell me.
but yeah, like I mean, running over there, he's been banned from several like retail outlets for weird as fuck behavior
Mm.
and mazed the dude. And as of the point that I'm watching this, they're in a considerable amount of debt. So,
Wait, who's they?
uh, him and his mother.
Uh, Sad.
Yeah, it's yes and no.
No, okay, okay. I don't know anything, but
Like, well, that's that's kind of the thing about this whole thing, and that's why most people keep watching. Is like you want to feel bad for him, but at every turn, he just shows you that he's a disgusting fucking human being,
yeah.
and
That's the thing. I haven't until now. I mean, I'd heard some stories, obviously, when I was young, but um, like 2010, 2011.
mm,
But yeah, it's like I know he's mentally unstable. I know he's got a lot of shit going on, but I haven't really seen any of the apparent reprehensible things until now. Like, so yeah.
it's that and his inability to learn from his past actions, so that he constantly repeats them.
Mm.
Also, the hypocrisy is pretty fucking great. Um, fuck, I'll tell. There's a moment in the ones that I'm watching around about now where he finally reads this fan fiction that someone wrote for him a very long time ago. That's supposed to have this very unlikable guy in it. That's basically just Chris himself.
Mm.
But because he's a lazy sack of shit, he didn't start reading it until now, and he's just reading it and he's tweeting online about how, the guy in this book seems a lot like fucking Donald Trump.
Well, and it's about him. It's
And
about
it's
Chris.
about him. Just zero fucking self-awareness. It's
Right.
yeah. It's a beautiful fucking car crash. And as far as watching it, I'd say like definitely watching till maybe, I don't know what exact episode, but you can get like maybe 20 episodes in, and that's probably the gist of what you need to know. Just imagine that sort of repeating itself with different shades.
Well, that's the thing. I can't make any promises as I'm allergic to cringe, so I don't know it. I can't promise I'm gonna get far in it because I have no fucking idea. Like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know how bad it is.
I mean, as far as
Um,
cringe, I don't. I think I don't know if I've said with you around, but I've said before, like it does kind of open it up a lot about yourself.
what do you mean?
Like it makes you just think about like your own past actions in a way, and things you haven't necessarily done. Like I've gained a lot of empathy through watching this because I now know what it feels like to have someone hit on you and be absolutely fucking repulsed by it.
Yeah,
Just because he makes a lot of fucking videos where he's basically trying to act seductively. and I'm trying to fight off fucking bile on the back of my throat.
Yeah.
It's a great time. I do hope you end up watching it at least like the first 20-ish episodes.
I promise I will give it a shot. That's all I can promise.
All right. I mean, I don't really have much choice in the matter. But okay. Yeah. So
Is that all you want to say, Christian?
I guess I'm curious to see how your journeys into his life go, but obviously I can't talk about that now.
Yeah. Yes, we do not know yet. All right. I guess I can talk about something that's going on my end, which is me and Sleepy have been role playing Italians for the past week and a half.
I've seen some of this.
Yeah. So, basically, me and Sleepy kind of like I don't want to say watching TV together because we don't, but like we kind of like shit posting about certain TV shows, notably Breaking Bad. And so I finally got him to watch The Sopranos. Which is a classic, like I think it's 98 to 2007.
Fuck, did it start that early?
Yeah. It was sort of the first TV show with a what's the word? Not a protagonist, not like an antagonist, but like an anti-hero, I
Yeah.
think is the term used now. Yeah, and it was like the first ever television murder where a protagonist just kills a guy. Wasn't attacking him, like just murders somebody. Um, and shit like that. Fantastic TV show. Fucking love it.
Yeah, I would
And
have thought of no. The reason I was thinking it was much later. Like the 2007 makes sense to me because I was thinking like it falls into that right that sort of like vein of properly shot television. You know,
what do you mean, like 16:9 HD sort of thing?
so no more like fuck what's like a long form movie sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Sopranos.
Where it isn't like a sitcom set or like a really cheesy drama.
Yeah, the Sopranos was the first. A bunch of writers from The Sopranos have gotten successful making similar shows like Boardwalk Empire
Yeah,
and shit, and even ones that aren't done by people who are on The Sopranos, like Breaking Bad.
we'll say they've like drew a lot of inspiration from it, or
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
like the thing is that the reason I was expecting much later is because like a lot of that stuff I remember being like not quite 1998, but like early mid-ish, like 2002 2003 onwards. You start getting things like Lost or whatever. And
Yeah, I think that was when the show got like really big.
Yeah, and that's when I was expecting it. So that's good.
Yeah.
Fuck, so almost 10 years. It's not bad.
What do you mean almost 10 years?
Like 1998 to 2007.
Oh yeah. Well, technically, it started filming in 2007. I mean, sorry, 1997. So yeah, 10 years.
Yeah, that doesn't count though.
But yeah, it's a long,
Yeah.
long running series. Really fucking good, and yeah, me and Sleepy are having a great time. The problem is, right? I was gonna make a tweet about this, but I couldn't phrase it in the right way. But it was like that feel when you finally get somebody to watch something, but they have like a life and responsibilities, and only watch like one episode a day, and you just want to talk about it with them. And I have nothing on, and I'm just fucking binge watching this shit because I'm rewatching it as well. So he's just started. He's like halfway through season 2, and I'm already on season 5 now. Because he has a job, he has shit to do, and I'm just sitting around all day just fucking watching The Sopranos. But yeah,
what do you
whenever
mean you haven't watched 7 episodes today?
yeah, yeah, that, but unironically, yeah. But yeah, whenever we've been talking, yeah, we've just been dropping. So now whenever we talk, it's like, hey, there he is, hey. It's been a great time though. It's been fun.
I will
And
admit, it's sort of on my shit to-do list as well.
man, I mean, you should, and then because then you can shitpost about it with me and Sleepy.
But like,
You
the
know.
thing is, on the topic of the other one, Breaking Bad has been on my shit to-do list since like 2013.
Mm. Sorry, I just got a notification from WebMs that make you want to suck cock.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I
multiple.
ran out of webs to post in this, and I'm just bumping it on principle.
um, but yeah, I mean, I'd recommend The Sopranos definitely,
Well,
especially from
well, yeah, like,
like.
again, both of them probably on my shit to-do list, but fuck, my shit to-do list is getting long. It doesn't help that I'm watching, like, it doesn't help that I watched all of House and then proceeded to basically not watch anime and instead watch 50 episodes of fucking Christian doing shit.
House to me is like the worst type of American show. Not for its quality, although I would argue it's not like amazing, but it's the worst type where it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like 20 plus episode seasons and they're all like 40, 45 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
So, and how many seasons are there?
7,
Like,
8? Hang on.
so you've got, okay, so a third of the number. So if it's 24 episodes, that's like 16 hours a season. Times that by 7. 16 times
Well,
7
we'll
was,
put it this way, there's
what's that?
it
120?
if
100,
I open it up, there is
112.
243 files in the house folder. And obviously it's going to be a bit less than that because like there's also the extras and yeah, so on and so forth. But like 8 times 20 will get you the rough answer, or 22, I guess.
So, yeah, it's like 100 hours. At least. It's just like, actually, no, way more than that. Way more than 100 hours. There's a lot of content.
I mean, 176 episodes, roughly. If you
So
times
45 minutes.
yeah, and so if you times
So,
that by 0.75, that'll get you the 132 hours.
jeez. Yeah. That's what I mean. Why it's like not worst type because it's quality, just because of its length. It's fucking girth. Like, fucking hell.
I mean, how many episodes per season does The Sopranos have?
So The Sopranos has 13.
All right. So
13.
basically half of House.
Yeah, except season 6, which is kind of like the end of kind of like the final season of Breaking Bad, where it's sort of like two smaller seasons together, like two parts.
That'd be great if I had any context to how long Breaking Bad is.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I think it's like 60, 70 hours total. But it's not like House, so it's not like each episode is fairly isolated and kind of like procedural in a sense. It's more like a 60-hour film in that sense.
I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. I mean,
I'm trying to say House
it's
is shit.
yeah,
That's not.
yeah. Like I get that, but yeah, House was obviously a big influence growing up.
Yeah.
You don't become an asshole like this without watching House.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're on the shit to do list. I'll say that, but
Hmm.
fuck knows when I'm getting to that.
Well, I do have a very good torrent of it. It's pretty girthy itself, but it's nice
Jeez, if
quality.
only I had like several 8 terabyte hard drives.
Yeah, so you don't have the how do I copy a magnet? I'll just post it in the podcast thing.
Yeah,
If
you literally just like post the magnet, and then I can like post that in my torrenting client.
does that look
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
proper
that's it.
magnet? Yeah. All right.
Um,
Um.
yeah. So
Oh,
God,
me and Sky talk. Oh, sorry. What?
yeah, I was just saying, like, it's like God knows when I'm gonna get to it, but
Yeah. No problem.
like,
Um.
not watching Breaking Bad basically became a running joke because it
The
was
impersonality.
no, yeah, because well, basically it was my girlfriend at the time who really wanted me to watch it, and I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it, and I just never got around to it. God
Yeah.
knows what I was doing because I wasn't even watching anime back then.
Well, I was gonna say at least the problem was just the advantage of the fact that it's not Breaking Bad. Because my brother's the exact same in that. Yeah, not watching Breaking Bad to him is like bit of a badge of honor, if you want to put it like that. So,
Oh,
um,
it's not like
I,
like I don't know, when I consider it something like a badge of honor, that's more like a societal thing. Like when everyone's trying to get me to watch this,
yeah, yeah,
like fucking Evangelion is probably a great example of that,
yeah.
or anything by Miyazaki,
Mm.
which I'm surprised I actually managed to hold on to that because there was something I watched where I was like, this looks like something Miyazaki would make, and it turns out it was just a Miyazaki clone.
Oh, you know what it was?
Uh, Mary and the Witch's Flower or something.
Never heard of it.
Hang on. It was on Maori television of all things. Yeah, 2017. Um, I'll leave the Wikipedia page. But yeah,
I'm having.
it looks like something Miyazaki would make, but it's not Miyazaki.
I'm having a bad day. Oh yeah, that does look Miyazaki style. I'm having a shit day. No,
Uh,
not sorry, not a shit day. A poop day where I'm just pooping non-stop. Like
yeah, I know that feeling usually when I'm sick.
I'm not sick. I don't know. Like I'm not sick, but it's like just like a purge day. I don't know why, but yeah. Like I just went like an hour and a half ago, and I'm starting to feel it now. Don't worry, I'll power through it.
Mm,
Um,
that's good. But yeah,
but
Maori television gets some based shit on it.
mm,
Like, yeah, just really obscure stuff ends up on there. Those like 2 times a year I might check what they have on, which is now like 0 times a year because I don't watch TV.
mm.
But yeah, good times. Anyway, you said you were gonna something about Skynet.
Yeah, me and Sky had like an hour-long conversation about JVs. It's pretty good conversation.
Um,
Um,
I'll take your word on it.
that was it. There's no overarching point here. It was just yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
we were just talking about.
I'll be honest. I don't think I can get with them. Just
What do you mean?
I don't like. I mean, it's a meme, but yeah, I just can't deal with the screaming.
Really?
Yeah, just not a fan.
Well, you gotta stop watching rape shit.
It's all rape shit.
um,
I watch a Japanese girl masturbate and she fucking screams.
I don't know. Maybe it's self-selection, but the ones on my phone pretty much aren't. Don't really have that. But maybe I'm just subconsciously picking the ones that don't have that. You know? I don't know.
You pick the one when the girl's like 2 days from retirement from like the porn industry, and she's just phoning it in. She's just like, eh,
yeah.
Itai.
Mm. Yeah, it's a nice made one. I got a nice reaction image. Um,
Is it
yeah.
is it just is it gonna be like, a picture of a girl in pure fucking ecstasy, and then just like the text
Oh,
underneath, Itai.
so I was talking about how like I downloaded a ton of them and then I was scanning to see which ones were worth being put on my phone, right? And
Like
so
I
I
actually need to,
start one.
sorry, I need to make that reaction image now.
So I started one, and this was how it started, right? And I was like,
Okay, so
I'm
we
not
have
cool.
that is not a girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna call this woman ugly, but this ain't the type of chick I want to see, right? You know.
I mean, she has very good skin. I'll give her that, but
And so I'm ready to click off. I'm ready to like. Oh, no, okay. I don't know why I downloaded this from the preview, but
it's
this
it's
ain't for me. But I thought, you know what? I'll stick with it. Fuck it. I'll skip.
it
I'll skip 2 or 3
really
minutes in.
it really feels like it's a mask.
No, that's just a face, right? Go on, right? So,
Like if I
But
reach down her shirt, I'm gonna pull up this like latex skin and just like peel her fucking face off and
it's all
find
that Korean
some.
skincare stuff. Um, but anyway, so I skipped like 3 minutes in, 4 minutes in,
Okay.
and bam, this is what I get. I nearly got fucking debated. I was like, okay, now that's a girl I want to see. Now that's a
So
girl I
did
want
you
to
then
see.
go back the 3 minutes to see how we got from that to that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, I gotta know how. So it's like
Oh, and
reverse.
for our beloved listeners, links in the description.
Yeah, so it's basically from what I can gather, reverse NTR, right? Like, so that's his girlfriend. I think. I'll be honest, I wasn't really listening too hard. Um, my Japanese isn't good enough to keep up with fast-paced conversation, but
Gozu.
I think it's like her sister or her friend or whatever who lives in the house. Yeah, and
Oh, I
she's
thought
coming on to
I
him.
thought you're gonna be like, this is like the Japanese porn equivalent of Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal is a really shitty movie starring Jack Black, where he was his name is Hal, and he's very shallow. A bit of a like, yeah, basically shallow when it comes to women. Like he's very much after their appearance.
Right.
And then he, in a elevator one day, he gets hypnotized so that he sees their inner beauty as the outward thing, and he just ends up with this absolute behemoth of a fucking woman.
Well, and that's just the film.
That
That's it.
Yeah, basically just yeah, and then like their dates, and then like the hypnotism wears off, and then he has to come to terms with like what he just spent the past however long with versus what he sees now, and fucking self-reflection and shit, and like, don't judge
I,
a book by its cover or whatever the fuck. But basically, a
yeah,
lot of the movie was just comedy of like, the whole changing camera angles from like them making out as what he sees, and then like an outwards shot of like what everyone else sees, and it's
yeah,
basically
yeah.
just him getting fucking eaten by this massive fucking woman. Oh, and then there's
Yeah.
also like other like gags where like this really thin, pretty woman sits on this chair, and the chair fucking collapses.
Oh, because she has a bad personality. Oh no,
No,
because
because she's
okay,
fat.
yeah, yeah, she's found real life. Right, right. Okay.
Yeah, and like, oh, this thin woman's buying like 15 fucking Big Macs.
Mm.
God, early 2000s was such a good time when you can make fun of fat people and emos. I miss it.
Well, all wanted to say was, yeah, that, and I do quite like the reaction image of her staring at something, quite attractive. And also my phone auto generates the thumbnails from a random screen, like a random shot.
Yes.
And for this one, it looks like the Here's Johnny from The Shining. So, there's no way I can change that. So that's just how it looks. Um, yeah, that's it. It was a good conversation, but you had to be there. Like, doesn't translate.
Yeah, I'll believe you on that.
Uh, okay, sorry. So I write down because of our conversation this morning. I knew I didn't have a lot to talk about, so I've wrote down anything I possibly have to talk about, and I've got like 5 minutes here, dude.
Yeah,
So
I wanted to talk about Code Vein because that well, I wanted to
yeah,
talk about Tank Mechanic Simulator just purely to get the segue to Chris Chan. Um, I mostly wanted to talk about Code Vein because I've actually been having a lot of fucking fun with it, and I highly recommend it.
well, go for it, my dude. Tell
Um,
us all about.
so Code Vein is a Dark Souls inspired game, but really easy. It's which is kind of why I want to recommend it. Just like it's a great introduction to the genre, I guess would be the way to put it. Where like people just put like I don't know, maybe you're put off by this whole like difficulty curve because I know you get fucking angry easily.
Yeah, see, I'm inclined to say no, but it's not true. It's mainly that I've just stopped playing games that make me angry, so I no longer get angry at games. But with Dark Souls, yeah, I just didn't find it fun. I like being challenged, but not in the Souls-like way. I like being challenged in like a strategy type way, not in a strategy of. Well, it's hard to understand, but like more of a turn-based strategy
Yeah,
sort of
like,
style thing.
I know what you mean, but I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's kind of like how every game these days is a role playing game because
Yeah.
they give like they added an XP system
Mhm.
where like in the end everything kind of comes down to strategy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
even
realized that as I was saying it, like,
yeah, it's one of those ones like I guess War Thunder is a good example. Like it you can go either way in saying that like the ground port like the tank portion of it is just like point and click or there's like strategy and like map awareness and like positioning and shit
mm,
which is true and it makes it hard to try and then explain to people that like the air portion of it is much more strategy focused than that.
yeah.
But I'm getting off topic. Yeah, I don't. I want to talk about it, but I don't know how to fucking like actually talk about it. It's a great game that I feel just gets rid of a lot of the I don't know, maybe the gatekeeping to it. I don't know. To
Mm,
to the genre of games.
yeah. Fair enough.
It's yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, I just so I can't add a lot here because yeah, I've never really played much of Souls-like games, so um, sadly I can't really add a lot
I
to the
guess
conversation.
on the top of like how everything is everything, you know, it's like everything's a I don't know how the fuck it ended up being like Souls like games because when you kind of think about it, fucking Dark Souls is basically just a 3D Metroidvania.
Mm. I've never really played Metroidvanias.
I played the one and I hate it. Although I think most of my hate for it just it's one of those ones where, because it's an older game and it's kind of, the whole idea of like iterative development, like we've had 20 years of improving UI and shit.
Hmm.
Because I think most of my issues with the one Metroid Fusion was like it had a very limited ways in which it could show you something.
Hmm.
Like a lot of like all the walls and shit there'd be like secrets to everything, like hidden walls and shit. But there's nothing to kind of like indicate that there might be a secret somewhere.
Right. Yeah. You just have to know,
Yeah.
or just
Or
bash
literally
everything.
shoot every fucking wall.
Yeah.
However, the issue with shooting every fucking wall is that some of the secrets would only like appear if you shot the wall with like a limited kind of ammunition.
Right.
But yeah,
So it's just like a gradual learning thing as you're going through the game multiple times, sort of.
yeah, it's. I mean, I think it's what they call like moon logic. No, moon logic is usually to point and click adventure games where you have to put this piece of tree with like a can of Coke to like create a fucking
Yeah, yeah,
teleportation
no,
device.
I played a lot of shit point and click games. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But it's I think it's a set of logic that kind of makes sense if you grew up with it, which I didn't.
Mm.
Because at the time, I mean, I was streaming all of Metro Fusion, and people were like in the fucking chat going like, "How the fuck did you not know this? I figured this out when I was 3." It's like, yeah, fucking good for you.
Yeah. I'm not you when you were 3. Fuck off.
Yeah, I could probably kick 3-year-old you's ass. And then, and then there was also other ones where it's like, what you see a point like where there's like trial of error with like the bosses weren't so bad, but there was points where it's like, hey, there's this big glowing thing on their head,
Mm.
and you're like, that's probably the weak point. I should try and shoot that. And then you try to shoot it, but because you were a pixel off, it didn't actually register. But
Yeah.
because it was a pixel off, you thought you actually did hit it, and then it's like, oh,
It
it
doesn't
didn't
do
it
anything.
it didn't do anything. Let me just
Yeah.
like fucking nibble at its feet for the next 3 hours. And then, someone comes and is like, dude, why aren't you hitting the weak point? It's like, I tried. Didn't work.
Yeah. Eh.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, I mean, as far as like what a Soulsborne genre is, it's like, oh, congratulations, you have a health bar, and if you die, you restart.
Yeah. And enemies respawn, and the game is mm, more difficult in quotation marks than games of maybe 5 years ago.
It's,
Not
well, it's like, but it's like, I don't think difficulty should be like a defining factor on what is a Soulsborne game,
yeah.
which is why it's kind of arbitrary in the sense that like Near Automata could be a fucking Soulsborne game. You have a health bar. If you die, you restart. You kill shit. You have a sword.
Sure. I've not played Nier either. So.
Oh shit, it's a great time.
Mm.
It's just I don't. I mean, Nier is a weird one because it's one of those ones where it's like it's so highly praised you can't really believe it's gonna live up to the hype.
Mm.
But it kind of did for me, which was a weird, a rare instance of people like kind of telling the truth when they shill shit to me.
Yeah.
Um,
She's right.
but yeah, but back to the point. I think um I think Code Vein did a lot of things right. I think one of the main things they did right was what they call blood codes, and I'm gonna try and explain this best. Like, it's basically like interchangeable classes.
Mm.
Like in Dark Souls, you'll get experience then so that you can level up and you can put points in certain like stats.
Yeah.
So that you can like gear towards playing the game a certain way.
Mm.
What Code Vein does is basically they give your classes are now just items essentially. So like you go
Right.
through the game and you unlock these items and it's like if you equip this item, you're going to have like high strength or something.
Yeah.
So that you can then use things that gear towards this way, which basically means you're not limited to playing the game a certain way in one playthrough.
Yeah, so just by what items you have, you can at any times equip them, so at any time change your playstyle.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, right.
So like you could, finish one level as basically some kind of fighter and then in the next level just like say I want to be a mage and then pick
Mm.
up change that item so that you're geared more towards a certain thing. And you can still use the same shit you used as a fighter, but worse.
Yeah, so it's a lot more.
Well,
I don't want to say like I can't think of the right word, but it's just a lot
flexible.
more simple.
I think.
Yeah,
Well,
accessible. Yeah, exactly. A lot more
yeah, and
accessible.
which is another reason why I think it's a really good entry level game because it lets you kind of just tinker with like how you want to play the game.
Mm.
Like, maybe this whole like fast paced glass cannon thing isn't for me. And so you just stop doing it and not have to worry about, oh my god, I just wasted all these resources
Yeah,
trying to, play this sort of way and it's not working.
and this is a feature unique to Code Geass.
Code Vein. Code
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 Vein.
Code Geass is a anime,
Oh,
which is
my bad.
not
Sorry.
related to this.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, I was getting confused with Guilty Gear as well.
No, we're not talking about fighting games. Fuck fighting games.
Yeah, no. Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. But yeah, Guilty Gear, Code Geass,
Code
Code
Vein.
Vein. Ugh.
Metal Gear. Um, Gear Vein. I don't know.
Metal Slug,
Yeah, and then just regular Slug.
Worms.
Ooh, fucking hate those things. I need to put like a fucking ring of salt around my room. Fuck them.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, um, yeah. Like I said, I got a couple things I can just rattle through, and then.
Yeah, in summary,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
yeah, Code Vein, good game. Go buy it on discount because it's not worth full price. I mean, I think it's worth full price. I don't know. I'm not gonna pay full price. Fuck that.
Yeah. Based.
But now I'm kind of stuck in this point of like I'm basically at the end of the game, and because I'm trying to get all the achievements, there's one achievement that requires like online play, and the online is dead. Like not literally dead, but nobody's fucking playing it because the game's like 2 years old, and they could be playing Dark Souls.
Hmm. Well, I hope you can find somebody.
Yes, I hope
Um,
someone in the server, wink wink nudge nudge, wants to spend like 10 hours wailing on a fucking boss with me. Or not even really a boss, because like by the time by the time we're gonna be fighting these things to like farm these bosses for 10 hours, they're basically as strong as like regular NPCs.
Well, if you want to play Code Vein with
Yes.
Moon, comment down below.
Yeah, comments in the description. Wait. Ugh, man, I fucked it up. Discord! You can join it! And have a good time. So long as you're not like
Alright.
Mexican or some shit.
Mm. Okay, so on games, actually no, sorry, I'll do a different topic first because it's only like 30 seconds. But the most famous football manager in the world, I would argue.
Was he the one that was in Real Madrid?
Yes, he was.
Cool, I
Yes.
remember things.
Yeah, I'm legit impressed. Yes. Well, I mean, he was at Real Madrid quite a while ago, but yeah, he was. You know,
The most successful manager. Was he part of major sports team back in 2007? Yes. That's how he became famous.
okay, no, you did not get the yes. Did you? Fuck off. No, I've got to search that up. I'm sorry. I'm going to check that now. I think it was way after, but. No, he was not in 2007. So I thought, wait, is this guy a fucking like? Fuck, does he have like deep law knowledge just hidden away there? But no. Okay, so, yeah, this very famous football manager went on record as saying, Fortnite is a nightmare. I fucking hate Fortnite. My players stay up all night playing that shit and they have a game next day. Fuck Fortnite in an official interview. That's it. But Fortnite has been a very big. Fortnite and Netflix have been two very big topics recently, as apparently players have just been spending all night playing them, and watching them, and not,
Me on my $200 million contract going, oh my god, I need to get my sleep schedule fixed.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Apparently, it was a big thing with the French squad. The manager was constantly. Apparently, he had to ask one of the hotels to just cut off the internet. In the hotel. Because all the players were up at 2 a.m. before match playing Fortnite. So, yeah, fucking 10, 15 years ago, they'd be fucking banging whores and shit, but now they're just fucking playing Fortnite. All right.
When they realized that, sexual assault allegations are not gonna fly anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so
I'll just have to like say an apology in front of like a building with stone columns, and then next week I can go on to just keep doing it.
mm,
So we're gonna enjoy this Fortnite thing for as long as we can until like 2 years from now, when it's really not okay for them to drop N-bombs on VC.
yeah. Well, apparently, two of the French players were making fun of the Chinese internet repairman and like pulling their eyes and calling them ching chong and shit, all caught on camera.
Based France.
Okay, on games,
remember, kids, it's always morally correct to be xenophobic.
I've only been playing a game called Mini Motorways, which is the.
I was intrigued, but then it costed $10.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, I would say it's worth it, kinda. But
Yes,
I really like.
But you see, for less than $10, I can get For Honor.
Oh. I would honestly say Mini Motorways is more fun.
Yeah, no, I'm just memeing.
Yeah, no, it's just a game you can very easily listen to stuff in the background and play. It's just relaxing. But I love Mini Metro.
You see,
Which was
you see, that's kind of why I was intrigued at the time when I realized, oh, Code Vein isn't gonna work today, and ended up playing Tank Mechanic Simulator. It's like I need something that I can play that isn't going to be hard. And then I looked at fucking what's it called?
flavor of the month.
No, yeah, I looked at this mini motorways thing. Well, not at it at flavor of the month, but when I looked into the game, I'm like, no, I'm gonna need to sit there in silence and like autism my way through this.
Nah, no. I mean, you can play it like that if you want, but the beauty, same with like Mini Metro, is the beauty is sort of how it scales up. So you just start with one business. So to quickly explain the point of the game, you get a kind of very stylized map of a real place, and you have a business with a car park in it, and you have houses, and the businesses get pins, and so you connect roads, and you have a limited amount of like road tiles, and you connect the roads to the business, and cars drive from the homes to the business of the same color. So segregation is kind of key here, and shit. But yeah, it's a you just begin with like one house and one building, and they very sort of quite slowly build up. So it's very easy, and then yeah, like in 20 minutes in the game, you kind of like blink a bit too long, and you stop seeing it as every new problem being added, and you just see the whole collection, and you're like, oh fuck, shit, like there's a lot going on now.
Now you see why like UK infrastructure is a fucking mess because it was
Yeah.
built one street at a time.
Exactly, and so that's when you go autism. That's when okay, shit, I've got to pause the podcast. Okay, delete that road, right? Like all that shit. But yeah, it's a game if you don't really care about score and shit like that. Yeah, I mean, I love this sort of game, so I'm of course gonna shill this sort of game. But yeah, I mean that's it really. I do recommend, but Mini Metro is older, thus it's cheaper, and it's the same style, so it's quite easy. Just play Mini Metro if you're unsure, and if you like this sort of game, the Mini Motorways is kind of like the natural evolution of Mini Metro. I fucking love Mini Metro because I do love it's like an area of autism I have. I love train maps. Like the stylized sort of underground kind of metro maps, if you know what I mean. Like the underground or New York, or like the Tokyo Metro and shit like that. And Anglia Metro. Yeah. I'm also very excited for a game called Humankind. Have you heard of it?
I'm gonna say no.
Are you saying no because you haven't heard of it?
I'm saying no because I don't think I've heard of it.
Okay.
That's
Um,
Google.
It's basically it looks on the surface like a Civ clone.
It does.
So it's done by the Endless guys, you know, Endless Space, Endless Legend, all that shit. But yeah, so there's no fantasy in this game. It's basically the same premise as Civilization, but done in a very different way. With very sort of different core gameplay mechanics.
Done in an endless sort of way, I guess.
Well, kind of. See, the thing that's made me excited is I'm actually not a huge fan of kind of the endless style of 4X, and it seems like they've basically kept the interesting things and kind of cut a lot of the fat around it and go in a different direction. But yeah, so the thing that's got me really that seems really interesting about this game is the civilization mechanic. So like, I take it you have you played a game like Civ 5, Civ 6?
I played Civ 5, yes.
Right. So you know that you pick a civilization.
You don't pick a civilization. You pick Babylon.
Cringe. No. Fuck Babylon. Who did I play in the Civ 5?
I mean,
Shit.
it's either fucking Babylon or Korea. Basically, just
Yeah, Korea. I did like playing Korea. Yeah, the
just
science.
like science buff, just easy win.
Um,
Also, your
That's-
obligatory like one run as Venice on easy difficulty.
yes, I really like playing Venice as well. But I like playing Tools in those sorts of games. Okay, so in Humankind, you start out as a nomadic tribe. So like a settler, but your settler has like population and can fight, and you eventually establish an outpost and you adopt a culture. So you go into the ancient era, and you can be. So I'm looking at the list. You can pick either Assyrian, Babylonian, Egyptian, Harappan, Hittite, Mycenaean, Nubian, Olmec, Phoenician, or Zhou.
There's only two of those I don't know,
Which
and I'm
what ones?
gonna assume one of them I didn't know is like Proto-Indian.
Which one did you not know?
The last one and somewhere in the middle of there.
The Harappans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know the Harappans. The Zhou, in English you might say the Zhao. Chinese.
Okay.
Chinese. Proto-Chinks.
And I'm gonna assume
So you
like
pick
I'm gonna assume Harappan is like Proto-India or some shit.
Canal Network and Runner. We click Harappans. No, not who are they based on? I think it's like it doesn't actually fucking say.
Well, when I
on
look
this
at when I
wiki.
look at Harappan, I'm getting Malaysia.
Yeah. It's getting kind of African. No. Yeah, he looks a bit. Yeah, the guy looks a bit Southeast Asian. And anyway, so okay, so you pick one of those, and then there's a way that you can go into the next era, and so you go into the next era, and rather than continue in that, you can then pick from the classical era. So you've got the Achaemenid Persians, the Askamites, Carthaginians, Celts, Goths, Greeks, Huns, Mauryans, Mayans, and Romans, and they add on to your civilization to represent the fact that throughout human history,
But
civilization.
is it kind of linear in the sense that like if you started as the Phoenicians, can you just jump to Mayan or some shit? Or
So you can pick any, and it naturally builds on. So you'll have like older buildings, and you'll retain a tiny bit of character from your previous civilizations. So you could do you could try and do a legit, natural evolution, and like as close to what history was like, or you can just go bonkers and go like, okay, I'm going to be Egyptian, and then I'm going to be
I'm a new Roman.
Yeah, Roman, and then I'm going to be Mongolian in the medieval, and then I'm going to be Haudenosaunee, which is the what's the Iroquois Confederacy in the early modern, and then I'll be the Austro-Hungarians, and then I will be Australian.
Best.
So you can pick and yeah, so it naturally builds and it creates this like hybrid civilization and shit. A bunch of them do have like two options. So like you've got like Victorian British, and then like is there a modern British? Shit, there's no modern British. Cringe. How is there modern Soviets and not the British? What the fuck? I am personally
Because
offended
the
by this.
British don't have culture.
I am shocked and appalled at this insult, this personal insult. But yeah. Also, if there's no one you want to pick, if basically all the options are shit, you can just enhance the other civilized. So if you're like Celtic in the classical, and then other civs have picked it, and you really don't want to be English, if English is the only other option, you're like, fuck, I'm Irish. I'm not going to be English. You can just play like enhanced Celtic, which gives you a bunch of like theoretical gameplay, like a bunch of like stat advantages, but you don't get like new buildings that you would get in that era, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, and that really intrigues me. I'm not gonna lie, and the gameplay looks great. Like that's what I'm saying. I just thought it was a Civ clone at first, and then I was looking, and it seems a lot more kind of like more narrative driven in that it's telling the story of your civilization and shit, and how it builds. But fundamentally, it isn't the Civ style. But yeah, it looks really good. It's coming out in August. Very
Yeah,
excited.
I guess it's easy to say something's a clone, but at the same time, I do kind of trust those guys to like be smart enough to know what they can change up and make it interesting.
Yeah, I mean the thing is they've been doing betas. I was able to get into one, but I came in on the last day, so I was only able to play like an hour and a half of it before the beta closed. But I had a really good hour and a half. I really liked it. So yeah, big excited. Uh, yeah, and I don't know. Uh, I've got one other topic, but I don't really want to get into it. It's not really that good, to be fair. So, yeah.
Who in the Discord link in the description below are you gonna shit on?
No, it's not anybody on the Discord, but it's just what something on the Discord kind of reminded me of, which is more indicative of kind of other parts of the internet. But I'm kind of like so yeah. No one on the Discord. Everyone on the Discord. But man, I fucking hate people who constantly shill. Uh, no, it's too confrontational.
My Hero Academia.
No, like okay, there's a guy at uni.
All right.
He's in my college, and he's in my sort of college group.
Okay.
And he does like engineering, and he has this sort of attitude that I really don't like, which is basically if you don't do STEM, you're worthless, right? Um, and yeah, this is why I said it wasn't really a good topic, because it's really just me. Like, I don't like arrogant STEM people, but you could just reduce that to I don't like arrogant people, and I think everybody can relate to that. So there's not really a lot here. Um, but yeah, there's more to life than just the STEM fields. But what reminded me of it was everybody telling Potato to do IT. Because he said he might want to go back to school when everyone was shilling him IT. Which I'm not saying that's bad advice at all, but it just gave me that fucking flashbacks to like me forcing myself to do STEM stuff because that's what everybody recommended and me fucking hating it. Um, and I found to the humanities, and I really do like the humanities, which admittedly it probably isn't as important as STEM, but I don't give a shit. So yeah, that's it. Do you have
It's
anything to add? Or
uh
as I said, it was a shit topic.
yeah, it's hard to say because it can really go both ways, I guess. I honestly have no advice for Potato in that regard.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
oh,
this is coming from someone who does quite enjoy STEM, but decided not to pursue it because I don't know reasons. I'm lazy.
ugh.
I'm much better at shit posting than I am at STEM. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, I want to make it clear that I'm not, of course, I'm not shitting on STEM, and I'm not shitting on people who do STEM at all. Uh, it's just like I know people who did do STEM or were going into STEM, and yeah, the way that they talk about other subjects
Yeah,
to do
there is definitely this very
air of superiority. Um, like okay, so
I was
for
thinking
example,
more of like a narrow mind. It's kind of like you know, well again, but basically just going back to this whole like it's not so much arrogant STEM people, just arrogant people, but like atheists, like the real fucking militant atheists
yeah, yeah.
that kind of go way too far in the direction of when they start saying shit like religion has never provided anything useful,
Yeah.
which I would disagree with.
Mm, absolutely. Um. So yeah, like for me, I guess the biggest kind of section of this was during sixth form, which is like the final 2 years of secondary school, like 16 to 18, and I did computer science because I thought it would be useful, right? It's that classic, computing is the way to go. Get into it. I fucking hated it. Was not very good at it. Um, I had no passion for the subject. Um, but I was the only person. So I did like economics and business, and then thought, okay, I'll do computer science. Whereas pretty much everybody else was doing like mathematics, and physics and shit like that with their computer science. And so like
Oh, dude, it's me.
yeah, I'd be sitting there trying to do my work, and like the people, everyone's just shitting on like yeah, like things like business and economics, and it's like it's perfectly reasonable things to have, but like one thing was like having to hold my hand up. I was like, okay, which is there anybody here? It's legit like is anybody here doing computer science, not doing maths? And in the class, it was me and one other person put their hands up, and I was like, okay, then you guys don't need to do this. And it was just like, yeah, like feeling in such a kind of like,
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's an interesting one, especially
mm,
because I guess the other part is there's always going to be a bigger, more elitist fuckwit.
of course,
You
yeah.
know, like for all these people, again, trying not to really talk about anyone in particular in this, but like if you're of the mindset is like, oh, you should do IT, like it's the greatest thing ever. It's like I know what you do in IT. You're aspiring to make a visual novel and you make like tiny little automated subroutines or whatever the fuck. Like
Mm, mm,
if you're not working at fucking what's the company? IBM to develop the latest nanometer chips.
yeah,
Like get the fuck out of here.
yeah.
You know, you're not true STEM. You're just like
Mm.
you're basically just an e-tradie, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like your shitty little qualification in IT basically makes you yeah, no better than a fucking welder
Mm,
or a mechanic or basically just someone working fucking construction.
yeah. Absolutely. I guess it was more like feeling that like I don't know. E- Everyone was sort of going on about STEM, and it was just like it's kind of the selection bias of people on Discord. I mean, There's no other way to say it. Typically, the type of people who go into Discord are fairly nerdy, fairly more science orientated, or at least how it used to be, and are more likely to be playing video games on computers and shit. They're going to be more technologically minded. There's
Yes.
going to be a skew
Like
to
I can tell you, everyone I know who's been doing baking for 20 fucking years, the most they have is a Facebook and a Netflix account.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's going to be a heavy skew to STEM fields here, and there's going to be a heavy skew to things like IT because it's like computing and shit. So it was kind of just like what I wanted to say was just like there's obviously nothing wrong with doing that if that's what you want to do, but
It it brings
there
back,
are other things you can do at school.
if you want a more purist version of that, the my time in the Supreme Commander community was great for that. Because
mm,
basically everyone there who was vocal was 19 years old and studying computer science at university.
yeah,
And it's great because oh, just it was just such an elitist fuck show. And
yeah,
it's great when you throw someone like me in the wrenches, where as people in the server, link in the description below, have kind of done an excellent job of saying like I'm an asshole, but I'm usually right.
yeah,
So it's kind of interesting having all these 19-year-olds basically just waste hours of their time making these like 3 paragraph long arguments for something, and then I'm like, and then I just come in and say you're a fuckwit, and here's half a sentence of why you're wrong, and they ignore it because it's not 3 paragraphs long. It's, I'm not adhering to this etiquette.
yeah, yeah. So you're not debating them properly.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's a great, and then usually you have someone who's higher IQ with him. It's like, oh, he basically just said in half a sentence what he tried to say in 3 paragraphs.
yeah. I guess I also have to acknowledge my personal thing in that I did try and do STEM, and to me, really advanced thing, it just wasn't my thing. And so I've seen sort of both sides of it, and maybe I'm just a bit jaded about it more. Because I've definitely, I've been that guy at age 14, 15, shitting on the other fields,
Oh,
right?
bro,
Like,
same.
oh, they're not doing physics. And I've been on the other side. I've been on the guy in the class while seeing other people just shit on every other thing that isn't STEM and just being like, well, I study things that aren't STEM. And then they do the whole like, oh well, we're not shitting on everything. It's like, no, you were. That's chill, but like, fuck you.
Oh yeah,
like,
and again, this is coming from the guy who did fucking scholarship physics and calculus in his last year of high school.
mm,
Like
like yeah,
I was as balls deep in it as you can be while still being lazy.
yeah, yeah. I'll fully admit, like calculus, like entry calculus was as far as I got on the math side, and that was pretty much like, yeah, I can't continue this. Like, um, I was really good at maths in like early high school, but then I just ramped up. I was like, you know what? This is stuff I can't just shit out. I have to study for this. Yeah, I don't really give a shit.
Oh
like,
yeah, well that was basically the reason I didn't go to university. When I say laziness, is I had gotten through all of high school without ever studying once.
yeah, same,
Like I
same.
to the day, I don't think I've really. I mean, there's things I have, like I didn't actually study anything until yeah, again I got into Supreme Commander when I kind of went, you know what, I actually want to work to get good at RTS,
Yeah,
and that's basically the first time I ever studied. But and that was until I was what, like 19, 20.
yeah.
But
This.
the point there is yeah, I was basically faced with the choice at the end of high school. It's like I can I can basically wager a student loan on the idea that I'm gonna pull my finger out of my ass
Mm,
all suddenly. And it wasn't a wager I felt like taking, or that I didn't think I could win.
Yeah, that's honestly probably the smartest and fair decision, a lot smarter than a lot of other people. But like what I want to say is like this past year has been the hardest I've studied more in the past year than I have combined in the rest of my life up until this point. And that's enough for like middle of the pack, average grades, like not bad, but not great. Solid C plus B minus. That shit. And I'm fucking working my ass off here. But yeah, I've had to learn to study like now. I've had to learn how to study in the past year or two. Because yeah, STEM, I loved STEM when everything just made sense and I could just get it. And then things stopped making sense intrinsically. And
then you got to the point where that little piece of paper with the equation had an I in it.
Yes. I was fine. I was fine with algebra. I was fine with whatever. When the Greek came in, when multiple Greek symbols came in, that was when I was a bit.
Well,
I know pi. I know tau.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Is like at the end, I never even all the Greek shit throws me off because I never learned it. Like at the end of the day, most of the Greek shit is basically just constants, like pi.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I never learned it as the Greek symbol, so when I start seeing fucking sigma this, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Sigma male.
Yeah. As for the crux of this question, what Potato should do with his life, truth be told, I don't fucking know.
I thought about this, and the way I would put it is, what Potato needs to do is he needs to find his cute anime girl, right? Think of it like I was thinking about a good analogy to put it. And this might be I'm very sorry for anybody listening if this is a very tortured shit analogy, but right, think of learning anything and doing a degree as drawing. Now, I believe there's no real such thing as like an easy and a hard subject, right? Like any subject's going to be hard if you don't give a shit about it. And subjects are going to be more relatively easy if you care enough to study. So let's say you're an artist, like Potato, and what you want to draw is cute anime girls. And what you don't want to draw is fat, ugly bastards. Now, if you like...
What the fuck? Why don't you want to draw fat, ugly bastards? There's a stable market for fat, ugly bastards.
Right.
You can make a lot of money drawing fat, ugly bastards.
I will face the problems of this terrible analogy later.
Well, no, that was kind of the joke of like going to STEM, LMAO.
Yeah, it's like if to you, computing, you're passionate about it and you're whatever, it'll be a cute anime girl and you can draw it all day and you'll love it, right? And something like fucking history of art will be a fat ugly bastard because you'll have to read fucking 19th, 18th century fucking Old English stuff, right? And that will be very hard for you to do. You can still do it. If you can read and write and do basic addition, you basically have the tools to learn theoretically anything, right? It's just how much time it's going to take. And a fat ugly bastard is going to take you a lot longer because you don't give a shit. You don't want to get better at drawing fat ugly bastards. You want to get better at drawing cute anime girls. So you need to find the subject that's your cute anime girl. And if Potato thinks IT, he's got enough reasons for doing it, that it's his cute anime girl, then he should do it. But what he needs to do is find a subject he's passionate about and cares about. Obviously, doing a subject that'll make you money helps as well. But 50% of all degree jobs just require a degree. They don't require a specific degree. You can do fucking gender studies, and as much as people shit on things like gender studies and history and English lit,
it's good enough to get you through the filter process on throwing out resumes.
Yeah, on like 50% of jobs. Now, of course, the other 50% is going to be law, business, and then obviously all the STEM shit, because you'll need a STEM degree from pretty much any STEM field. But yeah, most degrees, you don't need that shit, right? You just need a degree. Hell, to teach in Japan, you just need a degree. You don't even need to know Japanese. You just need a fucking degree. So yeah, there's lots of shit like that. So what I care about is like if he wants to do something like that and he's passionate about it because it's going to be years long. Well, he should fucking do that. He should do whatever it is. But I just don't want him to fall to a selection bias of a bunch of people who have passed IT, who are working in IT, and who enjoy IT, telling him to do IT. Because on the server, that may look like a large group of people. Whereas in reality, in the real world, it's probably a hell of a lot less. It's just Discord has more of those types of people. That being said,
I will say,
hmm,
because I have the rare perk of being able to watch Potato in a lot of situations. Scary, actually.
okay.
At the same time, he very much has people telling him the opposite.
What do you mean?
Like, there's a lot of people kind of telling him they dropped, kind of basically from your stance, where they did STEM and they hated it, and now they do art or humanities.
Yeah, and I am not shilling the humanities here. I'm if he wants to do STEM, he should do STEM. Absolutely. Just there's other things. That's it. There's just like don't rush in this. That's my point.
Well, I think my point kind
But yeah,
of
sorry, continue.
is kind of a where you're saying he needs to find the thing he loves. The issue I see with him is I think he loves a lot of things.
Mm,
It's
mm.
so I don't know. Like, I think honestly, my art, like the most basic bitch answer I can say is I think he needs to go call the Air Force recruiter again.
Mm.
I think a bit of time in the Air Force might give him more direction.
I don't have anything to say to that.
It's yeah, just I think he just needs to. I think the point of view I'm going from here is he needs experiences that aren't going to require a lot of investment.
Yeah.
Like, it's yeah, again, like you say, oh, all you need is a degree to get like 50% of jobs. It's still like 3 years and
Ah,
50 grand out of your life.
absolutely. Yeah. It's no small investment. Yeah.
So I think, yeah, basic. I mean, and like, I mean, the army, so long as you can run a bit and piss in a cup, you're. And I think even the pissing in the cup is partially optional.
Mm. So, yeah, I'm a fat, unfit cunt, and they would have accepted me. So there's
Yeah.
really no barriers.
So I think, yeah. So I think some time in the chair force might
Mm.
be something.
Um,
The truth is, I don't know.
yeah, I mean,
I can see him kind of ending up like some of the bosses I have, where they do, and it's interesting because I always saw it as a very English thing, where they kind of just learn everything. Like, you ever have those moments where you see like a lot of like British actors and they have all these very like obscure side hobbies that they're very good at,
yeah, yeah.
and they've got like a dozen of them.
Mm.
I think that's kind of the way that Potato needs to go.
Mm.
And again, like some of my bosses, where my former bosses, where they'd be in their 50s, and while they'll do their job, they've got a shitload of side hobbies that basically just turn into investments.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one of them used to do beekeeping,
Mm.
and he just had he basically worked his ass off to the point, and might help that he's also a boomer.
Mm.
So that he got like a rather large swath of land that he can just do shit on.
Yeah.
And I think that's the direction Potato's going. But it's just a matter of getting to that initial investment of being able to just do shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with you. But yeah, and I want to make it clear that when I say passionate, I don't necessarily mean he has to like love the subject. I think that's good, but like, if basically in short, if you're a money grubbing, if you're a money obsessed little shit, then the prospect of a job that gives you a lot of money should be good enough motivation to get through it. You know, to get through studying. Whereas if that's
getting in the porn industry.
yeah, whereas yeah, if that's not something that's you know, it's about finding a passion, maybe not necessarily a love.
What we're trying to
So
say is that Potato needs to start an OnlyFans.
no, no.
But yeah, I think I know what you mean for a passion, where it's not necessarily the job itself, but like something to work towards.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like,
I
like,
think if
like yeah,
anybody's got a
like yeah, like if your idea is like if your dream is collecting, you know, very expensive pieces of World War II equipment, and you need a shitload of money, a job that gets you a shitload of money is pretty fucking great.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Thank you for putting it in better terms. Yeah. So that's it. And yeah, if he is passionate about
Welcome to the section of the podcast where two people who are living kind of average lives try to give someone else life advice.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was more using this as a vector just to talk about people being arrogant about STEM, but
Yeah, like I get what you mean, because I mean I guess I'm in a way kind of in the same situation of doing something I'm passionate about.
mm.
Cause as it kind of reared its head earlier this week, where I just threw money at a Nikocado Avocado OnlyFans subscription. Whereas like Moon has too much disposable income. It's like, yeah, because I have a very low overhead. Like I don't have my aspirations in life is to just fuck around. Like, you know, my rent and food is cheap, which leaves me a lot of money to fuck around, so that I can do those things that people dare not do, like get Nikocado Avocado subscription, so that I can spam pictures of his gaping asshole.
And I think honestly that's the best note we can possibly end
Yeah,
this on.
still not buying Nitro though. Fuck that.
All right. I'll see you all in 2 weeks then.
I guess we will. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye and good night.